Subscribe to Man Mahila Ka and hit the bell icon for more such videos.
So good morning, sir. Welcome to Man Mahila Ka. So, sir, tell me about yourself and your successful journey.
Okay, now the journey as such is a continuous process. We cannot say that we have started and reached somewhere. It's an ongoing process. A lot of stops were there, and definitely a lot more stops would be there in the future too. And over the period, yes, we have worked on a lot of things. Whereby we started the journey with a charitable organization. We started that in '96 by the name of Soul Searchers. Soul and searches. These two words came into being, reason being that everyone looks for the bodily care, needs, emotions. But there is an aspect which is the inner quest. Because even if you feed them every day, by the end of the day, they are looking for something new and something which can deepen their awareness. Even the best of the people or the charitable work, what we do, has a limitation because we are only feeding the body. We can support the emotion to a certain extent. By the end of the day, they themselves would like to connect to themselves. So my journey was from the body level to the mind level to the emotion and then connect to the soul. So this was a fourth pathway which we took up. And the journey has been pretty good because we had a lot of good friends with us who came together. And we started the work with the leprosy centers first. That was the totally neglected part, and nobody wanted them to be part of the society also. So we started with the feeding of them on the regular basis, and then we found that okay, they require employment opportunities. So we started allowing them to make agarbattis, incense sticks, and we started selling them on their behalf. And the profits cut from the raw material was given back to them. So they also got an opportunity to be part of the society's economic affair. So the growth happened. Then we also started looking after the children in Bangalore and Delhi, education part. So we are mostly looking at the urban poor because that also is a big area which people are not looking at. So we started with 5 children. Now we have something like more than 1,500 children we have supported over the last 15 years. And add-ons, we found that okay, we added up cancer patients, we added up medical support, we added up training for them, and then we want into a different altogether method where we said that okay, you connect to the soul part of it. So we told them how to do the meditation process, a meditation process which is devoid of any religion, no chants, nothing but pure meditation connecting to their own conscious. So once they got connected to the conscious, they started enjoying it. Now suddenly we found that their desires have gone down to extremely and they are looking at certain aspects of life which are better and they want to improve and be part of the society for improving others' life. So over the years we found that too many people we supported have come back to us and they have volunteered and they also become part of the family and they said that okay, we want to do this and even my children are there, we would like to be part of that. So it's like third generation we are having now. But then we are too happy that okay, we have moved and too many people we could make them smile. That's a big achievement.
So, sir, can you tell me about the challenges you have faced during your journey, ups and downs, your hurdles?
Basically, too many things were there. Initially, it was very difficult to create an acceptance from the lepers. They were not ready because they were not feeling comfortable because we were coming too close to them and they were avoiding it because most of the society they used to just throw the material away and they said please collect and distribute. And we were sitting with them, having the food with them, and a lot of people have lost their limbs, fingers and everything. So we should tie a rubber band and put the spoon there and all those things. They said, don't touch me, see, this can spread. I said, see, if it's going to spread anyway, it has to spread. There's no option. So let's start doing it. Maybe things will change. And this over a period of time, we found that they started accepting. Similar case happened when we started educating the slum children. The parents were actually moving crowd or a moving population. They were working with the construction building and all those things. So they were not living in one place. They moved from one place to another, and the children were forced to move with them. Because of which they could not study. They were just roaming around in the mud, using abusive language and other things. So the first thing was, initially we thought, okay, we'll try to train the children. Then we found that no, we had to go the opposite way. We had to train the parents to say that, okay, you have an employment here in this local area where you can survive. So we look for opportunities for them in the local area itself. Once we found that, okay, they have an opportunity for employment, then we said, okay, now we got a small place, they can listen to us. Then we said that we would like to train the children. It took us time. It took us more than 3 years to get them accepted that, okay, we are there to help you and support you. After 3 years, we found that many children started coming in, and they themselves were actually counseling their parents and their relatives, saying that, see, we were learning and we got admission in school, they are guardians for us. Can you send my brother, my friend, and also together for this event? So that's how the event started off. But it was a very slow process. Yes, we achieved it. It took us 3 to 4 years to convince them, put them in a crowd. Now we have a locality at Rachanahalli in Bangalore, where we are supporting more than 200 children. And they are trained on meditation. They are working on computers. They know how to talk in English, Kannada, Hindi. And so whatever normal practical issues are there, we are trying to solve them. We are not looking at coming out with very spiritual solutions or no. We are looking at practical solutions which can work for them. And also allowing them to understand certain things in life which can help them heal themselves without the doctor in emergency, like first aid things. So we are training them on that also. That's how it is.
So sir, सारे किसी ना किसी से inspiration लेते हैं journey के लिए. So can you tell me from whom you taken this inspiration for going on and working for the organizations?
I would definitely put that on 3 people. One was my aunt who supported me from my childhood. Actually, I'm the son of 3 mothers. My 2 aunts, biological mother. And for them, I was just a son. That's it.
Okay.
So that was one thing. And second, how to actually concept of getting a return back. Okay, so we started doing that. At the age of 18 years, I adopted 2 children. And my schooling was added up with the temporary job so that I can earn for the children. That's how my journey began. And I knew my aunt was there completely. She was like a godfather, as you can say that. She was a little mother figure who has supported us for our charitable work still recently. That memory is still there.
So sir, any social change you want to see in our society?
Them or we support them. I believe that they spend it and they forget it. So basically, the whole concept of us starting the Soul Searcher was to give a purpose to the people we are supporting. The moment we are giving a purpose in life for them, they will try to break it down into goals. And goals are easier to achieve than the whole purpose itself. Even I assume that even if they achieve the 80% of the goals in life, they will have a better life compared to their parents. That is the whole purpose of it. And we found that a lot of children now have taken up employment and they are serving, and the children who are begging and their children have suddenly taken up employment, they are supporting their parents now and they want other children to join us. So it's a small change, very small change, I would say, not a big population we have changed. But tomorrow, if that thing happens, we can say that, okay, people can connect to the conscious and the transformation definitely will happen.
So sir, anything more you want to like to share on this platform?
So, I've been into supporting activity and charitable activity for last 32 years now. And over the years, I found one thing is we have been supporting the body level. Because even the international organization, national organization, lot of NGOs, plus everything is doing the work. But we find that from the age-old grandmother stories and ancient scriptures, we are hearing about poor people and rich people. The poverty does not end without a change in the mindset of the people. We have a rich people have a mindset that we have to support, and the poor people think that we will get a support. That whole thing has to change. The upper hand and the lower hand has to move back into two hands which can hold each other so that the community develops. Then only we can actually become human. Otherwise, talking with a weapon in hand saying that we will have peace, we will never have it. And when I say I'm doing a charity, it's my ego boost thing that I did this. No, actually we all did this. So a lot of people who supported, we found that they also changed. That made us happy. Okay, one small change happened. But if the world changes, you will tomorrow find that everything is peaceful. There is no fight, there is no war, there is no borders, nothing is there. We live like a family on the earth. That is the whole goal of societies.
So, sir, thank you so much for joining this platform and convey your beautiful words by telling us how you are contributing to the society. Thank you so much, sir. We are delighted to take your interview.
It's a good opportunity for me to convey what I had to say. Grateful for the opportunity. Thank you.
Welcome, sir.